My connection with Big Sampson is that, I grew up there, essentially, between Little Sampson and Big Sampson. My dad was the former owner, Marcus Mitchell. The first time that I met Bob, and he joined my dad and I on a swim right off of one of the main beaches at Turtlegrass. We took Bob for a little drift through the cut. I could tell that he just got it right away. He understood the beauty. Right from the first day that we essentially met, he saw it and understood how important that was, and that he wanted to share it and make sure that it never gets destroyed right away. I was like, Bob, I like you.
First time I came to the Bahamas was in 1993 and ended up in 2015 in Exuma. And as I got to Exuma, I decided that I would try to figure out how to get involved in the community. And somebody mentioned to me that this island was for sale. I stood on the beach and looked around and thought, am I crazy enough to do something with this, because it's just so gorgeous.
You meet Bob and you know straight away that he's a straight up guy, right? What I like about him is he came to the Bahamas because he fell in love with it. He wanted to be here, but he immediately sought out avenues where he could make contributions, advancing the sense of place where he was. So immediately I knew from the discussions with Bob is that whatever he wanted to do there was going to fit into the natural setting.
My third daughter is an environmental science major and has been very involved with conservation. Actually, she spent time on San Salvador Island in high school, studying sea turtles. She just graduated from Colorado State with an environmental degree. So in the family now, we have environmental.
The conservation of the marine life in the Bahamas is very important to me. Because I want my grandkids, my great-grandkids to be able to appreciate all the beauty that I've seen in my lifetime. The reason why people come here is because of all of this beauty. And you got to watch out, because developers, the only thing that they're interested in is the bottom line. Because they come in, develop, make money, and split. We as Bahamians, we got to stay, and whatever they leave behind, we got to deal with it.
Throughout my career with the BNT, I always looked for an opportunity to strike a balance, right? We all want jobs, we all need jobs, we all want to better ourselves, but we can't do it at the total expense of the environment, because then you will destroy the very thing that attracted you to come to the Bahamas to do your development. Seeking a balance for anything you're trying to do is what will ensure the sustainability of your project and the sustainability of the space in which you're operating.
We're Big Sampson Cay, that's what it says on the map, and we'll probably continue to be Big Sampson Cay. The resort, as we call it, is going to be called Turtlegrass. Turtlegrass came to me one morning when I was actually here and went snorkeling, and somebody said, oh, that's turtlegrass. I called it seagrass. And I think that people who travel will start to recognize turtlegrass as a desired destination. And we plan to do a lot of development. It's going to be done in phases, and part of how you focus on preservation is in your building practices. And one of the things I'm intent about is hiring Bahamians as much as possible. All of our employees today are Bahamians, 100%.
Something that was so key for me in developing the overall tone of phase one was just to as low impact as possible. The turtle grass, of course, off of the main beach is considered sacred, so that's not going to be touched, and none of the construction efforts are going to impact that. And even once the island is to the point that people are staying there, there's going to be some mindful rules in place about not disturbing the turtle grass too much.
Before the island actually got bought, I knew the people that lived on the island. And the people that lived on the island was someone who actually used to teach me how to sail. So I have a small little connection with the island before it turned into Turtlegrass Resort. Working here, I get to know the insights of what they're going to develop, and they're going to add some aspects on it to add back to the community and the surrounding area.
The main thing is that what I've heard about the owner of Turtlegrass Resort is that he's very concerned about the environment. And to me, that is, I mean, he won my vote right away. And the moment you start messing around with that area, I mean, you destroy all the conch, the little small fish, the lobster, and all that stuff. It's gone. I mean, once it's gone, that's it. It's done. It's finito. I mean, you can never get it back.
Just like coral reefs, seagrasses, as we call them, in the Bahamas, we call it turtle grass, extremely important to the Bahamian ecosystems and indeed to the Bahamian way of life. And of late, of course, who hasn't heard, the big discovery? The Bahamas has the largest seagrass meadow in the world. And that is now being used by the government as a trading item in the carbon credits arena. So seagrasses are literally one of the hottest items for consideration in the carbon credit mix.
Well, turtlegrass is actually a kind of seagrass. Actually, it even has a Latin name, Thalassia testudinum, so it's a lot easier just to call it turtlegrass. And it's really important species because it is what we call, again, the foundation species. It basically holds the structure of the ecosystem, and not only above ground, but actually half of the biomass of the seagrass, turtlegrass specifically, is below ground. And so it creates habitat not only for the things that you see when you snorkel over the fish, but also organisms you don't see that live in the sediment. So it can actually contribute to multi-dimensional habitats.
Turtlegrass is a huge, lush user of carbon dioxide and giving off oxygen. Anyway, that's the ocean. We talk about the ocean as being our lungs. Turtlegrass is one of the main sources of taking in carbon dioxide and giving off oxygen. The things that eat turtlegrass are certainly the green turtles and the food items, the food animals that these animals eat. The parents of these turtles, when they're here in the summer and they move up and down the coast feeding, some of them go to the Bahamas as their winter feeding grounds. So they're sort of like snowbirds, except Florida's not good enough for them. They have to go to the Bahamas.
I don't think a lot of Bahamians realize the beauty of the Bahamas, and I don't think they see enough of it to really appreciate how beautiful it is. And I've been doing it all my life, and I'm still amazed at how beautiful it is. It just warms my heart every time I dive.
Once you go and snorkel a seagrass bed, it's one of those things where you want to visit it again. So no, we don't want to wipe them out. That would be probably a really bad idea. They also provide stability for the sediments so that when storms come through, and storms will come through, they're helping to stabilize the underwater ground. That's essential.
Whether you are a fisherman, whether you're a recreational diver, whether you are a professional dive operator, right? It's the coral reefs that you're depending on. It's the seagrasses that you're depending on. It's tidal creeks that you are depending on. And you're depending on all of them being healthy. So if you destroy the very thing that you depend on, it's not rocket science. You're going to go out of business. The ecosystems are going to be destroyed in a lot of cases irreparably, and you're going to create a whole mess in nature.
Well, it's probably not a good idea to have really big yachts in areas where seagrasses, because seagrasses grow in areas that are typically fairly shallow. And so if you have to dredge, then you're going to lose your seagrass beds. You're going to lose the ecological services, we call, that the seagrasses are providing.
Just look at this view right here. of where you would have your breakfast in the morning, right? Isn't that just gorgeous? I don't think you'd want a marina, right? But we want to keep the beaches, as you're looking up the beaches, very natural. And what's happening is the sea oats are already coming back where they were before, and you can see the natural dunes really building up. I think this is one of the nicest beaches in the Exumas. I really do. As natural as it is, it's also got this little jetty that goes around the point. That's great to snorkel along the rocks in there. So back to turtlegrass, you can see the dark there. That's where the turtlegrass starts, and you'll find conch and turtles and other things in that seagrass. This whole bay right here changes colors all day long. So you can see just beautiful colors from up here. And this is going to be a main gathering area that we put up here. We'll put some indoor-outdoor spaces up here for dining, for having groups up here, and just for hanging out along the edges of the rocks here. But I think this is God's country up here on this rock.
I would encourage people to look at the Turtlegrass Resort concept. I would encourage the government to look at that. I would encourage other developers to look at that as a model for what we should be doing in Exumas.
I'm here to be part of the community, support not just the island growth here, but support the whole ecosystem, support youth development, support youth sailing, support farming, support the high schools, support the social causes that we have, support the regattas. It's what I want to do, is support my community.
Well, how lucky am I to have a client that's so interested in not only preserving the natural environment, but using, his resources to be able to give back to the community.
I mean, I would love to see an annual meeting here of environmentalists and a conference that talks about sustainability. And then it would be a catalyst to help the different issues that we talk about, whether it's sustainable farming and food sustainability in the Bahamas, whether it's about carbon credits and other types of ways that the Bahamas can benefit by fighting global warming, whether it's conservation of the fisheries and the other types of things that we have here. It's extremely interesting and relevant and topical right now. And I think we can be a catalyst for that.